and welcome to Cooking with Nick, the cooking class that will show you how to prepare a quick and healthy 4-course dinner in a short amount of time. There's nothing more important than eating dinner with your family as often as possible. With a little preparation and some quick tips from me, you will always have time to make dinner for your family. So if we're all ready to cook, let's get started on our meal for today. Okay, we're going to do different foods from the north today, Taste of North. We're going to start with corn potato chowder. I'm going to get that going first. And this is going to be, we're going to be using some canned products for this, which makes it much easier, much faster, and tastes really good. So usually you have to cook that for a long time because you have all the potatoes and everything, but I'll show you how to do that real easy. We're going to do a cucumber salad. That's going to be our salad for tonight with a rice wine vinegar. So it's not going to have any oil in it. And then what we're going to have for the entree are open-faced vegetable toast sandwiches. These are basically large pieces of bread that we're going to toast on one side and then turn them over, and we're going to put a cream cheese spread that has all kinds of vegetables in it, and then we're going to stick it under the broiler. Okay, so real easy because when you have that potato soup, it's heavy, the potato soup, so you don't want something really heavy. So these vegetable toasts go really nice with that. Plus the cucumber salad is nice and fresh, and everything in it's fresh, and it is nice on your palate. What we're going to do for dessert, we're going to do banana chocolate roll-ups, which are the easiest make-ahead dessert. If you want to make it ahead and leave it in your refrigerator just before you're ready to put it in the oven, it's great. So, and we're going to serve that with some whipped cream and chocolate sauce on top. Okay, and basically what we're going to use for that is soft taco shells. And we're going to fill them with bananas and chocolate and cream and all kinds of good stuff, and then bake them a little bit till all the chocolate melts. The bananas get nice and warm, and so real easy, simple dessert. Okay, so let's start with the soup. And like we start every other soup, we're gonna drizzle a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of this pan. And because we're making a cream soup, I like to add a little bit of butter to it, so we're going to throw in a little bit of butter with the oil. I like that nice combination. So I'm going to add a little bit of that, a couple of pats of butter. Just a few, not like Paula Deen. Oh, of course I have the wrong burner on. Let's try that. He told me I had to move the pot because the camera's over there, so I'm usually in the back. So, okay, a couple of pats of butter in there. We'll get that going. Okay, we're going to start with the onion. Again, an easy way to chop the onion is to cut, not the root end, but the other end off, and then cut it in half. Okay, and then peel it, get all the skin off, and leave that root end on, because when you chop it, the pieces won't fly all over. Okay, so it holds it together until you're ready to chop it. So just leave it like that. Okay, so then when you go to chop the onion, you just go in, just make creases like this up to the root. Okay, and then you could go in like this. See, and it all holds together. It doesn't fall all over when you're chopping it. And then just go through and you have all little pieces. It's all diced for you. Just go right up to the root and then you throw that away. Okay. Okay, I'm going to get this going. You want to make sure you have your pot warm, with the oil in it, because you want the pot ready for you. You don't want to have to wait for it. You want to hear that sizzle when you put this stuff in. Okay, work this down. And what I'm going to use in here is I'm going to put a little bit of pepper and onion in here, a little red pepper and green pepper in here, because I like the colors in the soup rather than just, well, the potatoes white and the corn yellow. So I like to see a little bit of color. So I'm going to throw these in. And these are frozen. These are just frozen, chopped red and green pepper. You can get them right in the store. They're already done for you. When we make the sandwiches, I'm going to use fresh because that's going to be not going to be cooked as much. So I'm going to throw that in, about a cup. And they do have the frozen onions, but I don't like them because they're watery. So I don't really use those a lot. I use the peppers a lot. Okay, so we want to let that cook out a little bit. Again, what I'm going to do now is add a little bit of salt and pepper, because what that'll do is draw the moisture out and they'll cook a little bit faster. Okay, just not too much. I'm going to add some garlic in there. I'm going to add, what I did is I put the whole clove of garlic in a bag like this, you know, the whole bulb, and then flattened it and just smashed it with my hand, and all the little cloves come apart. So it's a lot easier to pull these out than trying to smash them all down. So I'm going to put in 2, and again, just whack them, and the skin will come right off. Or you could use a garlic press if you want to use that. I have one, but I don't know where it is. Somewhere in my kitchen, but okay, I'm just going to rough chop these. Again, if you like the taste of garlic, but you don't like the pieces of garlic in there, just put the whole thing in, cook it out, and then remove the whole clove. Okay, just remove that little clove, and you'll have all the garlic flavor, but the garlic won't be in there. Some people don't like to eat the garlic. Okay, got that in. I'm going to add a little bit of sugar in here just to sweeten it up a little bit. Okay, not very much, just maybe about 1/8 of a cup. Okay, so we got that going. We're going to use chicken stock in here. That's going to be our base. And then we're going to add some half and half. You can use half and half for whole milk. And then we're going to put some heavy cream in there just to thicken it up. Okay? What I'm going to use for this are, I don't know if you've seen these in the store, they're diced potatoes. Okay? These are great. I hadn't found these until recently, you know. And I was so excited. I tried them. They're great. They're already cooked. They're diced. And you just throw them in there. Otherwise, you have to cut all those peel and cut up all those potatoes, throw them in there, and then you have to wait for the potatoes to cook, which usually takes the longest. And if you overcook them, they get all mushy, and you know, it's a mess. So I'm also going to add at this point just a little bit of red pepper flakes, just to give it a little kick. Not too much, just a little bit. Okay, and also I'm going to use canned corn, put that in, and we'll see how thick it is, and cream of corn. That's what's going to give it some of that thickness. Okay, what you can do if you like it really, really thick is take a can of the potatoes and the cream corn, or some of the corn, put it in your blender or your processor and make a paste out of it, and then throw it in, and that'll serve as your thickener. Okay, so we'll see how thick this comes out. But I'm going to put some corn in. Basically what we're adding is everything is cooked. So you don't really have, there's no waiting time really, not a whole lot of time other than for it to heat up. Okay, the corn you want to drain a little bit. Okay, we'll throw that in. And the cream corn, we're not going to drain. Just going to add it. I'm going to put the potatoes in. We'll start with 3 and we'll see how much soup we have. Since we don't have as many people here tonight. But you guys end up taking it home anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, get those drained. And we get our potatoes in. If you want to make this week, these potatoes are on sale downtown. They're 10 for 10. So it's not even worth buying the potatoes. Okay, let's see. Okay, now I'm going to add the liquid. I'm going to add about 2 cups of chicken stock. And this is where you kind of decide how thick you want it, by adding the liquid. Okay, about 2 cups. This whole meal would take, if I stop talking, about a half hour to do. I mean, this stuff is real easy to make. Okay, I've got that, and I'm going to add some half and half. This is fat-free, by the way, because we know we're on diets. Okay. And this is just old fat whipping cream. So we're just so we counterbalanced it with the half and half. So. But we're going to look at this big pot, and I always say, look at how much you put, like a cup of cream in there, and you have everybody eating it. So how much are you getting? Unless you eat the whole pot. So we're going to see how thick this is, because it'll thicken up a little bit when we cook it. Now I'm going to throw in this other can of potatoes. I'll have to make extra because Robbie wants some, right? So we know we got to send some home. So I'm going to put that in. And I have another can of cream corn, so I'm going to throw that in too. So might as well. This is how the soup keeps growing, because you just keep throwing stuff in, Then you end up with enough to feed an army. And I was real careful. You notice I didn't really put a whole lot of salt and pepper in here, because if you're using canned products, sometimes they have a lot of salt in it. But again, the only way we're going to find out is to taste it. So we'll have somebody come up and taste it. Oh, okay. Come here, Casey. Come taste this. Just give it a quick taste and see if it needs a little salt. Well, okay. So I don't really cook with a lot of salt, so I don't. Well, when you eat it, I'll leave this out, and you want to add it, you can add it. Now you can see that it's still it's kind of loose, you know. But I don't really like thick soup for me. So if you like it real thick, what you just take some of this if you want, and put it in your little blender and mix it up and make the paste, and then just throw it in there. Okay, so you can do that. The soup is done. That's it. We just got to heat everything through, and we're all set to go. Okay, so we got that going. I'm going to get started on the salad, because I'm going to let that sit with the rice vinegar marinade for a couple minutes, and then I'll do the entree, get those under the broiler. Meantime, you guys will eat soup. Okay, and then we'll be ready to go. So I'm going to go on to the salad. Make sure the burners aren't on. Move this out of the way. So basically the salad is it's a cucumber salad and tomatoes. It's the dressing that makes the salad. So I bought the large English cucumbers, so you don't have to worry about seeding them. And so all you do is just zip down the side. And these cucumbers don't have any wax on them, so you don't have to really wash them or do any of that stuff. They're supposed to be seedless, but they're not, you know. And again, what we're going to do is cut these into half moons. If you struggle with getting that paper off, just take your knife and, like I just did, and just go right down here and then just peel it off. Otherwise, you struggle trying to get that stupid thing off. Okay, so remember when you're cutting, you put the flat side down and just go through. Okay, into your salad bowl. Again, this is another salad you could put together ahead of time, and just don't put the dressing on it till the last 10 minutes before you want to serve it. I'm going to pick that up before I step on it. Okay, everything into the bowl. And I'm going to add some thin sliced red onion, some tomatoes, and some radishes. Okay, so again, I'm going to use some Roma tomatoes. And again, go around the edge of the tomato. Leave that little core, because that's where all the seeds are. That's not, you don't want that part. Okay, then just chop them up. And I guess I put on there, how many tomatoes did I put on there? 4 or 5 or whatever. Just, you'll see how many you need and go from there. I like the Roma tomatoes this time of the year because they have the most flavor. The other tomatoes really don't, they don't have too much flavor. This is a great salad to make in the summertime because, again, it doesn't have mayonnaise on it. So you could make it and put it out on the picnic table, and you don't have to worry about the hot sun beating on it. Okay. I sent a copy of one of the cooking classes to my sister in New York, and she was watching it, and she called me, and she wanted to know if I had shares in the baggie company, because I had everything in little baggies, and then I would use it and just throw it away. She goes, "What do you have, stock in that company? You keep throwing those little baggies away." She goes, "Why don't you put them in containers?" I said, "Okay." Yeah, everybody's a critic. Okay, so we had that. do like I do at home. Get in there. Okay. So we got that in there. Now I'm going to add some radishes to this. And some red onion. And that's basically all that's going to go in there, and the rest of the ingredients is going to be for the dressing. Okay, again, I took the onion, cut it in half, and left it whole. Okay, see if I can get through this without crying. Okay, and I'm going to just leave them whole and just break them up. Very thin sliced. Okay. Not too bad. I didn't cry on that one. Okay, I have some radishes. Does anybody not like radishes? Well, you just have to pick them out. That's all. I don't like radishes. But these are nice fresh. I'm going to pull them off here and give them a quick rinse. I won't put too many in, because I know you don't like it. So. Okay, I'm just going to, again, I'm going to cut these off and slice them up. I'm going to cut them in half so we have little half moon shapes. Ooh, now I can smell the onion. Okay, get those in. Okay, that's basically all of what we're going to put in there. Use that anyway. Now I'm going to make the dressing, which is basically rice wine vinegar, a little water, sugar, kind of like almost like a coleslaw dressing. And again, I'm going to use a shaker bottle for this. That's what I said. Up to this point, you could make the salad in the morning, leave it in your refrigerator because there's no dressing or anything on it, and you'd be all set. Make the dressing in a jar, leave it in there just before you're ready to serve it. Just shake it up and mix it up. Okay, so something you can make way ahead. Okay, so we're going to need about a quarter of a cup. Well, I made a little extra, so we'll just, a little more than a quarter of a cup. A little bit of water. Some sugar. And my old buddy red pepper flakes. Just a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to put the salt and pepper in the dressing and not on that, because what will happen if you wanted to make this ahead, and if you put salt on this, it'll draw the moisture out and it will get all wet. Okay, so just put it in the dressing and then you could use that later. So we have everything in here. Okay. Give that a shake. Check our soup, which is nice and hot. Okay, I'm going to turn the soup off because that's what you're going to have first. Okay, what we're going to top the salad with is we're going to put some cashews on top. Okay, so you have all these crunchy vegetables in there, and then on the top of it, you're gonna have some nice little crunchy peanuts, some nuts on top. So I like the cashews. These are salted, so that's why we got to be careful with salt. You'll like it. Okay, so I'm gonna dress the salad because we want it to sit for about 10 minutes so it absorbs a lot of the flavors. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this dressing on here. Okay, I'm going to let that sit for a little bit. And then I'm going to move the soup over here. You guys are going to be ready to eat already. Okay, so you're going to have soup first. And then I'm going to show you how to put together the toast things. Get those in the oven, and then you guys will have salad. And then we'll have the entree, and then we're on to dessert. So we're like halfway through already. Okay, I'm going to move this over. And make sure you eat a lot because there's about 3/4 of this pot with soup. Okay, soup's on. There you go. Okay. While you're doing that, I'll start to get set for the next part. Okay, everybody filled up on soup. There's going to be plenty to go. What we're going to do now is we did the salad. That's already done. I just keep tossing it a little bit so that the marinade gets around the salad. And just before we serve it, I'm going to top it with some cashews so we have a little bit of crunch. You don't want to put those on too early because the nuts will absorb the thing and they'll get mushy. So we don't want to do that. So what we're going to do now is the toast. I just put the broiler on the oven. That's why I'm sitting here sweating because the broiler's on. So what I did before you guys came in is you take some nice bread. This is nice, has sesame seeds on it, nice Vienna bread, nice big slices. And what I did is put these on the tray, stuck them under the broiler, and toasted one side. Okay, so now we're going to put that side down because we're going to put the filling on it, and then we're going to put them back under the broiler. Okay, so what we're going to do with the filling is I have in here. We're going to add all kinds of fresh vegetables to this, so it's kind of a nice thing to go with the soup. So this is a nice vegetarian meal. There's no meat in this. I mean, so you could serve this. If you wanted to, you could make this same thing. Use little pieces of French bread and serve it as hors d'oeuvres. Okay, you could put it under the broiler, or you could serve it not hot. Okay, if you wanted to. Put this filling on it, put a little bit of shredded Swiss cheese or Munster cheese or some kind of cheese on it, stick it under the broiler when you get a nice little toasted crunch on top. Okay, so different ways you could serve this. You could just serve this as a dip with vegetables or crackers. So same thing. Okay, what I have in here is I have 2 packages of cream cheese. Okay, then it's softened. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit of half and half just to soften it up a little bit more because we want it to be able to spread it. Not too much, because you don't want it runny. Okay, I'm just going to whisk that in. Or you could use milk or, cream, whatever you have. Just so you get it smooth. You don't want any lumps in it. Okay, and you want it about, that consistency. You want it softer than the regular cream cheese. Okay, now we're going to start adding all the vegetables in. I have some shredded carrot. Just go buy it already shredded in the store. It saves you a lot of time. Okay, so I'm going to put in a handful of that. And don't be stingy with the vegetables because this is going to be your entree. Okay, so get that in. I'm going to add. Let me leave that here. I'm going to add some fresh red pepper and some fresh green pepper. You don't want to use the frozen at this point. Okay, I'm not going to use the whole thing, but we'll get a good chunk in there. And you want them fairly small. You don't want big chunks. Just remember when you're cutting pepper or vegetables that have seeds inside, you want the knife to be on this side of it when you're cutting, not the shiny side, because it'll slip. You don't want to have that knife slip and cut yourself. So always cut it on the dull side. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more. Again, if you go around the outside of the pepper like that, what you'll end up with is all the seeds in the middle. You could add a little bit of onions if you want to this, but I had some scallions. I'm going to put some scallions in here, green onion. And again, you could make this filling way ahead, leave it in your refrigerator, and then when you're ready to do it, just assemble it, and you're all set to go. Okay, same thing with the green pepper. Just hold it up, go around the outside, and you end up with this, and you don't have all the seeds. You can use any kind of pepper you like. Usually when I cook, I usually don't use green pepper. I like red pepper. I like the different colored peppers. Even when I make stuffed peppers, I use the colored peppers. Okay, I got that in. And I think just use that. Again, I have some scallions here. And just when you get them home, just take them out of the package, wrap them in a damp paper towel. They'll keep for a while. Okay, I'm going to cut these off. I'm going to put a couple in here, and then I'm going to use some for garnish. And the scallions give it a nice mild onion flavor, if you really don't like that strong onion flavor. You could basically add in here whatever you want. If you wanted to put chopped olives or, any kind of vegetables you want. Okay, I'm going to put in some mushrooms. And again, you want to get the pieces fairly small. Okay, those go in. We're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to pop in a little bit of my buddy here, cayenne, a little red pepper. Not cayenne, a little red pepper. If you wanted to use cayenne, people always say it's too hot. So we'll use red pepper flakes. A little salt and pepper. Okay, let's give this a stir, get this all mixed in. It's basically like a vegetable cream cheese is what we have here. Okay, so once we have this all mixed, I'm going to pop that on top of our toast. I'm going to chop up the rest of these because I'm going to sprinkle some on the top when they're done. So I'll get these all ready. When you're doing that, leave that little rubber band on, because then they don't fly all over your counter. Okay, so you get to the end, then you're done. Okay, just push those off to the side, and we'll sprinkle those on top. Oh, I forgot to put celery in. It was here. Okay, I have some celery. That's why when I do this, I always make sure everything's right here, because then I'll know if I look around. If something's left, then I know I left it out. So I throw it in. So I have 2 stalks of celery that I'm using. This is also a good way to get, if you have little kids, to get them to eat vegetables, because you sneak it in. They always like the cream cheese part, so they'll eat it. You know, get them to help you spread it on the bread and everything. They're more willing to eat stuff if they help put it together. This is also a good stuffing if you wanted to make stuffed chicken breast. Okay, take your chicken breast and, you know, cut the pocket in it, and then just take this stuffing. Don't add the milk to it. Make sure that the cream cheese is kind of thick, you know, or mix it all together, put it back in the refrigerator, let it get hardened again. Okay, then stuff it in the chicken breast. You know, put a couple of toothpicks in it, you know, brown it in a frying pan, and stick it in the oven to finish cooking. And it makes a nice little stuffing for that. So you could use this for a variety of things. You know, I always tell you to experiment with everything. Okay, what we're going to use as a little bit of a binder, and obviously if you're not going to cook this, you don't want to do this part. I'm going to add some egg yolks. And the egg yolks, when they cook, are going to hold it together. Okay? So if you're serving this as a dip, or, you know, if you're going to stuff chicken breast with it, that's okay because you're going to cook it. So I'm going to use 3 egg yolks. And I don't want to use the whole egg because it'd make it too loose. There's 1. I don't know why I didn't do this at home instead of carrying the whole egg. Oops. Well, get most of it out. There you go. Well, 2½ yolks. Like Charlie Sheen show. That's 2½ jokes. I just think that's funny. Do you as women find that show's funny? I mean, he's so demeaning. I mean, plus he's nuts. Okay, so much for the commentary. You could edit that out. Okay, so we're going to get the eggs mixed in here. Okay, now we're going to start spreading it on the toast. Just kind of use a spoon so you can make sure that let's see how many we get out of this. I have 20 pieces of bread here. So. And when you put these under the broiler, they don't take very long. Okay, once you get that on there, what you want to do is spread it out, because what you don't want to happen is you don't want the edges of the bread to totally burn. Okay, so spread it out to the edge. So with 2 packages of cream cheese that I used on there, we're going to get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. We're going to get 14 of them, okay? But obviously, if you were going to use this to make hors d'oeuvres, you'd get a lot more. Ooh, this one's got a lot of stuff on it. Okay, so I got that spread all the way out. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some mushroom halves on these just because I have them. So we'll just stick them on there. And they'll just get nice and brown along with the cheese. Okay, got those in. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of the scallions on top. Okay, these are going to go under the broiler. Okay, let me take these off before we have a fire. These pans that I'm using are plain aluminum baking pans. Okay, if you're going to go buy pans, buy these kinds of pans because otherwise you buy that other stuff. They're real thin. You're wasting your money. You put them in the oven, and all of a sudden you hear it go boing, you know, and it bends. Okay, just go. You can get these at Sam's Club or any restaurant supply. This size is a half sheet pan, and then they have a quarter one. So, but they clean up. You would think that food gets on them and it'd be hard to clean. They don't. All you do is if you get stuff stuck on the bottom, just put a little bit of hot water in there. Let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then it just cleans right up real easily. So don't waste your money on that other stuff because all you do is end up keep replacing it. Okay, so I'm going to put these under the broiler. See if I remember them. And I have 2 of them going over here, so I don't... And they don't take very long, so I'm going to have to watch them carefully. Okay, so what we do is we have our salad. Basically done. So I'm going to give this another stir just to get all of those vegetables coated. And then I'm going to top it with some cashews. That's going to give it a nice crunch on top. Again, remember, this is a good one to make. It has no mayonnaise in it. It's good for the summer. And all of this stuff is make ahead. Those are looking good. I'm going to move this over here. I'll jar that up for you. So what we're going to do in about 2 minutes, you guys are going to have the toast and salad. I just want to keep watching them. So, okay. What we're going to do for the dessert, I'm going to use flour tortilla shells. That's basically going to be the basis for this. You could use these for so many different kinds of things. For dessert, for tacos, you could fill them with a ricotta cheese filling. You can make, you could wrap them and deep fry them with meat filling and all kinds of stuff you could use those for. I like to use those. Okay, that one's starting to bubble, so we're going to be ready in about another minute or so. Get some stuff cleaned up. any questions for me while we're waiting for that? I told you this is one of those meals that you could put together in half hour and you're all done, so very quick. I'm going to be doing, the school is having a wellness day on March 18th for the students. So in the morning session is going to be the elementary, so I'm going to be doing healthy snacks for the kids, the things that they could make when they go home after school or whenever that have like 3 or 4 ingredients. So if you have any kids in elementary school, that'll be on that day. So haven't quite figured out, trying to make stuff that's real easy that the kids will like. So it should be fun. Okay, we're ready. Okay, I'm going to move these over here. The salad's over there already. I'll get a spatula for you so we don't burn ourselves. Okay, plates are over there. That's all ready to go. Go for it. Okay, we're going to get started on dessert. There's 2 more sandwiches up here. Soup is gone. There's salad. There's some salad left. So what I've done is I cleaned up this counter a little bit, took the cutting board away, and I have the tortilla taco shells, the soft ones. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spread them with some cream cheese. This is the soft cream cheese. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to make banana and chocolate tacos is basically what we're making. So we're going to put some cheese on here. The filling is going to be the cream cheese, bananas, and chocolate. And then we're going to put whipped cream and chocolate on the outside. First we're going to put them in the oven so the chocolate gets nice and soft. So that'll be for a couple minutes. And I'm using the softened, the whipped cream cheese, because it's just easier to spread. And I did wash this counter off, but so you know. Now on those sandwiches, did the egg yolks hold it together pretty well? Solidified it a little bit? Just make sure if you're going to serve that as a dip, you don't put that in there. Okay, so I have those so far. Get these going. A little loose there. I'm going to sprinkle. I'm going to use the mini chocolate chips. You can use whatever kind of chocolate chips you want. The mini ones just melt faster, so it doesn't take as long. Just put some of those on. Again, you could make these ahead and, just leave them in your refrigerator and take them out before you're ready to pop them in the oven. Okay, I've got those. I'm going to take some banana. And if you don't want to use banana, you can use strawberries. Okay, strawberries would be good in here too.
The ones that tops this week aren't good.
No. That's why I'm using bananas. Yeah, they're nice and big, but they're dry. Yeah. Okay, you put just layer some banana in there. Just make sure you don't overfill them because we have to fold it. Yuck. That part out. What you could do if you don't is to cut the banana in half and just put like the half of banana in there if you don't want to slice it. Okay. Flood warning. Okay, so what you want to do is we're going to take them, fold them over, and then fold the edges in. Okay. Little taco, burrito style, burrito fold. Okay. Put them on your tray, seam side down. As I said, you could make this way up ahead. That's why you don't want to get too much all the way over to the edges because you have to fold the edges in. If you have kids that are not really, babies, they could probably do this part, have them roll it. The part easier for little kids to do is to just take the sides and fold it in, like this, and then roll it. Okay? So you can do it that way too.
I don't know if my little kid can handle that.
Yeah, I don't know if mine could either.
Okay, a couple more.
They would like eating it.
Yeah. What do I do with the banana? Here it is. Okay, so just spread that out. It would be really good if you did this with, you had the cream cheese and put some jelly, dot it with some jelly and some peanut butter, and put peanut butter chips in there, and then roll it, and that would be good for kids. I wouldn't like it, but okay, got that spread on there. Chocolate. And some banana. You don't want to use bananas that are real mushy, real ripe, because they'll just melt in the thing. So take the ones that have a little body to them. Okay, so that's it. What we're going to do is pop them in the oven for about a minute or two. Let them get nice and hot and chocolate melt a little bit. Okay, we pop those in. We'll be all set.
Those are flour tortillas, aren't they?
Yes, those are flour ones. You could use corn, you could use whatever kind you want. Okay. So we're all set. What we're going to, when they come out, what we're going to do is plate them, and then we're going to put some chocolate sauce on them, and we're going to try this whipped cream again, see what happens. I never have luck with this stuff. It always flies all over. Okay, get this out of the way. This is just like you would do if you were at home doing a party or something. Just get all the plates ready, set them up. As soon as you take that out of the oven, then plate them and put the cream and chocolate on, and you're all set to go. This one, you maybe just want to pick it up and eat it. So, but I'll put the forks over here in case you want people sitting next to you think that you have coof. Okay. Okay, they don't take very long because remember we use those mini chocolate chips, okay? So I'm going to plate these up. So if you put the seam side down, and what happens is when they bake is that it tends to seal it, okay? Okay, a little chocolate, just drizzle some on. I always like when you go to restaurants and they drizzle the plate with all the chocolate. Just put the chocolate on the thing so you can eat it, you know? Okay, I'm going to pop with some cream. Always sounds like when my kids were sick. You know, it just sounds so off. It sounds off. That sounds awful. Okay, here you go. If you had some cinnamon, you could sprinkle some cinnamon on top. If you want, well, let's do that. We'll put a couple extra chocolate chips on it, just to. You can never have enough chocolate. Okay, here you go, dessert's on. So here we go, we're all done. It's 1:15, you have 15 minutes to get out early. Well, that was our cooking plan for today. I hope those of you in class enjoy eating the meal prepared, learned a few new cooking shortcuts, and will try these recipes at home. To those of you watching at home, I'd like to thank you for being with us and encourage you to join us in class. And remember, from my family to yours, always make time for family and friends by sharing a great meal around your kitchen table.